So you're pregnant. Now what? Well, first things first, congratulations. I am so excited for you. That is amazing news, and what an amazing journey you are about to start. I am a mama to a 6-month-old baby girl, and she is the biggest blessing of my life. I truly am so thankful for her every single day, and it's just the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I hope you enjoy this video, and hopefully you can get some good advice out of it. So now that you're pregnant and you know that you're pregnant, you've already tested, and you will want to go ahead and let your spouse know. So they may already know, you may have tested together, and if so, that's great. If not, that's fine too. Let's go ahead and just let them know. You will either just tell them or think of a fun and exciting way to let them know, but either way is just fine. But you definitely want to go ahead and let them know. So once you tell your spouse, I would then recommend that y'all just sit down, talk about it, because it's so much fun and it's just great. You're gonna have so many different conversations to come and talk about pregnancy and what life with a child's gonna look like. But you really do want to next talk about who you want to tell next, when, and if you don't want to share until you're further along, that's fine too. I know for us, when we found out we were pregnant, we wanted to tell our families pretty early on. We actually found out just a couple of days before my birthday, so it actually worked out really nicely because we already had birthday dinners planned for our families. So we got to tell them in that way, which was really fun because they weren't expecting a gift from us for my birthday, so that was really cool. But definitely want to talk about that. Just because, you know, regardless if something happens to you and your baby, I pray that you have a healthy and safe pregnancy, but things do happen sometimes. And I know for us, we just sat down and talked about these are people that we want to know, or we would want them to know, regardless of the outcome, because we would want them to be there, good or bad. And that may be the same for you. So you may want to talk about that and just think about that. And if you want to wait until you're further along, that's fine too. There is no right or wrong time. Y'all are the only ones that really can decide that for yourselves. So don't let anybody tell you anything other than that. So once y'all discuss and talk about who you want to know and when you want to tell them, that's fun too. And you can think about all the fun ways you want to tell everybody. When we were pregnant and we found out we were pregnant, like I said, we told our families pretty early on. And it also worked out great because my sister, she has 3 kids, and it was fairly new to her, as in her youngest is at that time was under 2 years old, I believe. So she was still pretty fresh into that. So anything that I had to think of or any questions I had, I knew I could tell her, and she'd be so excited to help answer them. Plus, I knew she would be just as excited as we were because it's a blessing. And anyone that already has kids, they are going to express just how much of a blessing and how fun it really is. Of course, there's going to be hard times, but it's also, it's great. But I'm getting off the topic. So anyways, now that you have discussed with your spouse and y'all have talked about who you want to tell and when you want to tell them, you now want to go ahead and make a doctor's appointment. If you don't have a doctor, this is the time to go ahead and research one, find one that you like. If you do have one, but you're not really sure if you want to continue with them, go ahead and look into somebody else. Find a great gynecologist that you really think will give you the best care. And if you have to end up switching at some point, that's fine too. But go ahead and research your gynecologist, doctor to find, and go ahead and get appointments set up. They will want to go ahead and get you in because sometimes they may be a little backed up. That way they can get you on schedule and get you on in there so you can have your first baby appointment. So anyways, when you make your appointment, they are going to ask you when your last period was, if you know that, or maybe how far along you may think you are. So go ahead and think about that and kind of have that information ready as well. So leading into that, I use a period app, and that's how I knew how far along I was and when my last period was. And that's kind of nice to know when you tell them. But it's also really exciting when you're not pregnant, because it helps you let you know when you're ovulating, when you're not, when it's safe, when it's not safe to have sex. So it's a really good tool to have, because then when you become pregnant, it will be all about pregnancy. So that will tell you week by week what your baby looks like, what new feature they're growing. I remember reading back, and it would talk about the fingers and the toes and the hair when their eyes are forming, just all of this fun, interesting stuff that is just really cool, and it's just so exciting to learn about for your baby. Plus, it tells you what you're going to expect for each trimester. So what new symptom you may have, what's going to be coming up in the future for you. So it's a really cool tool to have. It's free, at least the app that I use. It's called Flow, and they do have a version that you can pay for, but I truly didn't think that I needed that version. I just did the free one, and it was great. So it was a lot of fun. We would look at it every day, and we'd be like, oh yeah, this is how big our baby is now, and it's just fun to look at. So that's something else that you could look into. But now that you have those things decided, you will want to go ahead and kind of think about, where do you want to have birth? Do you want to have birth at a hospital? Do you want to do it at home, at a birthing center? Do you want to have a water birth? Or do you want a midwife? These are things that you want to start thinking about, maybe do a little research on, just kind of look into, think about it some. You're not really going to need to tell them that your first appointment, but it will be something that will come up. So go ahead and just start thinking about it. And also, I would think about any questions that you have, whether that be now or even all throughout all 40 weeks of your pregnancy. Go ahead and start writing down any questions that you have, because pregnancy brain is real. And I know I experienced it, and you're going to want to write some stuff down to just make sure you don't forget them, and you can ask every question that you have. So that's a good tool to do too. And then one of the most fun things is deciding if you want to find out the gender of your baby. So I wish I was one of those people that could wait to find out, but I'm not that patient to do that. And we were just too excited to just want to wait for that. But I believe you're going to want to know that pretty early, because I think at your first appointment, they're going to ask you if you want to do that. And what I mean by that is, I know that we had like a blood version test, I think at 12 weeks, which is pretty early. You can do the test to find out the gender of your baby. And we did that way. It's just an extra tube of blood that they do when you have your blood taken. It's nothing harmful to your baby. Or you can wait until your 20-week appointment, and you can do your anatomy scan and find out that way. Or you can wait until birth. Whatever you choose is completely fine, but it's just something fun to think about and look forward to. And then one of the last things that I would recommend would be researching about your skincare. Now that you're pregnant, you will want to look at what moisturizer, lotion that you're using, anything that's topical or anything that's on your body, or really anything that you're really ingesting. There are certain things that can be harmful to your baby, the growth of your baby, especially very early on. I would go ahead and just kind of look into that a little bit, research what moisturizer you're using, find out if you need to switch. If you're not sure and you can't find it on Google, call your doctor or call a dermatologist. I'm sure they'll have some recommendations on some things that you can do and ways that you can make it easier for your baby. And then really the last thing that I would recommend is make sure you get a good prenatal. Take it now. Pretty much as soon as you find out you're pregnant, have your spouse go out to the store and get those if you're not already taking them. If you're already taking them, great. Whether you were taking them before or not, go ahead and get on those now. And yeah. So this kind of wraps up my video of what to do now that you're pregnant. And yeah, so I'm so excited for you. This is a fun journey that you were going on. If you have any videos that you would like for me to make in regards to pregnancy or motherhood, anything at all, just leave a comment below. I'm happy to help and make some videos on the topics for you. I want to help make this a smooth and stress-free pregnancy that I can for you. So again, congratulations, and until next time, bye.